loose in the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out.
Hello, Miami. Thank you so much for watching 305 Sports Now. You're on now with 305 Live. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe, please, to this channel as we kick it with some more Canes coverage as well. I know tonight I'm supposed to have a buddy. I'm supposed to have my friend Will from the I Hate, or Q, like to call him in the podcasting world, from the I Hate Football podcast. But unfortunately, he tried gutting it out, man. But Will is just a little under the weather today, and he is unable to do the show. So I will be doing the show by myself, and it's fine. We will be getting together, and we will I will have him on eventually. So because he's gonna be on vacation next week early, and I'm gonna be on vacation late next week. So we're both taking some R&R, and then we're gonna come back and then we'll hook something up. We can have something go. So feel better, my friend. If you're listening, if you're watching, feel better. Hope you feel better. Take care of yourself, man. The most important thing is health. Okay, so. First things foremost, one of the things we want to talk about is, of course, the Miami Hurricanes. Miami Hurricanes are the talk of the town because, as usual, we have spring ball, and we're very excited about spring ball. It felt like last week it was like a ghost town to some extent because the Canes were off due to spring break. But guess what? They're back and they're at it, and we're hearing some really good things coming out of practice during this spring week. Okay, so first things foremost, just a few things I want to go over, and enough hasn't been said about Malachi Tony. Malachi Tony is 17 years old. We know he reclassified to be a part of this class, and he's been really showing out in practice. He looks very smooth. I know it's different because it's practice, but he looks very smooth. He looks very crisp. The hands are looking good as well. He's got very shifty speed. He's very twitchy, of course, when he catches the football and runs. I suspect if he's not going to be used a lot in the passing game this season, I think he will be used actually, but if he's not at volume, I do expect, I wouldn't be surprised if he's our new return man. With his speed, his football IQ, his ability to find the hole and find gaps and be able to break away with speed, his ball handling skills and make touchdowns and so on and so forth, I do think that Malachi presents a threat in the kicking game, both in punting and in kick returns that we haven't had since pretty much since Brashard Smith. A couple of years ago when he was a home run threat with the football in his hands on special teams. Special teams was not the best thing for Miami last year. Okay, it really wasn't, especially in kickoff returns and so on. But I do think with someone like a Malachi Tony, who's just flat out explosive, no matter where you put him on the football field, I do think that he will have an opportunity to return kicks. Where that puts Ray Joseph, I don't know. We shall see after spring what happens in the wide receiver room or all together. I'm not insinuating anything, but I'm just saying it can be pretty crowded in the slot position because you have Dalen Upshaw as well. You have Malachi Tony. You have Ray Joseph. There's even some talks about JoJo Trader possibly being slot as well. Those are just opinions, all right? But there has been talk about him. You can put him on any side of the field at wide receiver, so why not do that, especially if you want to put him in the best situation where he's going to be very effective, okay? And then, of course, with the conversation about Jason Lopez possibly committing to Miami. We don't know. I don't even know. And I know the family personally where he's going to go. It's going to be a very crowded wide receiver room in terms of the slot position. So keep that in mind, guys. But I do think I wouldn't be surprised if Malachi Tony is catching kicks this year, both in punt and also in kickoff return as well. Miami desperately needs that game changer on special teams. And I think Malachi, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, from whatever they show you online, I do think he happens to be that guy. And of course, Daniel Upshaw as well has looked very smooth in practice. The young receivers have looked good in practice, okay? The hands have been good. The route running has been very good, very solid. And it also includes Joshua Moore as well. So I'm very excited to see, although a little inexperienced, even if we don't pick up somebody else at wide receiver, how these young guys are going to perform this year. If it stays intact, if it's just CJ Daniels, if they don't get another wide receiver in the transfer portal after spring, I do think they will, because last year, remember, we went to spring with Travante Citizen, okay, and he leaves in the transfer portal, and we pick up Damian Martinez. I do expect a situation like that. I'm not saying that we're going to lose a wide receiver, but I'm saying I do think we'll pick up another veteran wide receiver in the transfer portal to help Carson Beck out. And now that Carson Beck is the quarterback of the Miami Hurricanes, and is expected to be throwing through fall ball, and also expects to be starting game 1 against Notre Dame, I do think that we will get another stud receiver out of the transfer portal to help fill that that void in depth of what is experience. Because the one thing about Cam Moore last year, his receivers were experienced. Okay, Jacoby George, Isaiah Horton, although not much game experience, he had been with the team for a while. Okay, you have, of course, Xavier Restrepo as well. You know, although he had been hurt, you did have Elijah Arroyo, who had been with the team for a while as well. So it's gonna be the reversal of it this year if we don't get anybody in the portal, because CJ Daniels is not from Miami. He played at LSU last season. Before that was at Liberty. All right, Joshua Moore, JoJo Trader's gonna be a sophomore. Okay, Chance Robinson barely saw any playing time last year. Nikar. So it's gonna be you might see a little bit of growing pains if this wide receiver room doesn't add an extra veteran. I'm just saying. But once they get the ball rolling, once they catch up to the speed of the game, this wide receiving core is going to be nasty. All right, absolutely nasty. Get a sip of water, guys. Just 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. I'm also fighting a bit of a cold as well. So, all right. Also now, as we move on, also to the DBs. The DBs have been looking good as well. I've heard great things about Zachariah Poyser. He was the number 2 safety coming out of the transfer portal this year. Miami got him. Okay, and he's looked good in practice. Looks like he's picking up the defense rather smoothly, as well as Amari Wallace as well. I've heard good things about him as well. I've also heard Damari Brown is filled out as far as in the weight room goes, and Damari might be playing nickel. That's a possibility that Damari Brown might be playing nickel, but don't be surprised if they also try him a bit at safety, because he's a big guy. All right, Damari's a big guy. He's tall and he's physical, you know, and so don't be surprised if they do try him as safety a little bit. What they've been doing in practice is they've kind of been playing positionless defensive backfield. Okay, guys that play corner, they've used them a little bit and tried them out as safety a little bit. Just kind of get the like cross training. Okay, like cross training. You know how Coach Cristobal, how he has the offensive line, even though you're a tackler, you might play guard. It's kind of like a cross training thing to make you a more multi-dimensional athlete at your position. I think that's a fantastic idea. And who knows, maybe Damari is a better strong safety than he would be even a nickel corner. The only thing I do hope is that they do not, I repeat, do not, if there is a problem, let's say they do have him at safety, they do not do what they did with Mish Powell this year and put him at the nickel late into the season, because that was very damaging early in the season, towards the middle of the season as well, until they kind of figured that out, that Mish was better at the nickel position. I know injuries played a role in that capacity, though, or the idea behind that. But I do think that this season, don't do that. Okay, we do have now some more depth at defensive back position because of the transfer portal and the young men we've recruited. I've heard good things about Chris Ewald as well. And I do have to say, though, I do think that I agree with Corey on Tuesday that he said that Ewald has covered JoJo Trader so many times, he knows all his tricks. So he has a bit of an advantage. Okay, but the bottom line is, though, the kid is a stud. The kid has covered two of the best wide receivers in the country throughout his whole high school career. Okay, and then even Sean Manon as well this year, where he's had to cover a few guys as well in practice, like of course, like J-Rock and stuff like that. So I just want to give you guys that idea. So the bottom line is, though, we do have now some depth at defensive back. I am cautiously optimistic. You can only go up if you're the Miami Hurricanes defense, and I do think the defensive backfield will be a lot better, but I also think our front four will be a lot more solid. We've been hearing a lot of good things about the Heatherman defense as well from the players, the position coaches as well. They do like what they're seeing. It's much more simplistic from what I understand. It's much more of attacking defense, not such a complicated schematics for the front four. So I do think that's important, and I do think that's something that Miami could be able to utilize to their advantage this upcoming season. The bottom line is, though, the good news is you're facing Notre Dame, where they don't know what they're getting, because they would have faced a Lance Guidry defense this upcoming season. They don't know how Heatherman is going to call the game with a different roster, a different team, and different skill set as well, because the Miami players are a little different than when he had up in Minnesota. Let's be honest about that. And he was still able to do wonderful things with the Minnesota defense. All right, so that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about as far as defensive backs. All right, and I also want to talk about, of course, the wide receivers. I mentioned those things as well. Throughout the weeks and so on, I will have, of course, guests come on, and we'll be discussing a little bit more about more of the position groups and more in detail about the line, the D tackles, the linebackers as well, the running backs, the tight ends, etc. Okay, even the quarterback position, both not just Carson Beck, but also Judd Anderson, also Luke Nickel as well, and so on and so forth. So there is a lot of things I do want to talk about. I will be mentioning this next couple of weeks, especially when I get back from my vacation. All right. So, anyways, one thing I also want to talk about now is recruiting. There's been a lot of buzz about Javion Mallory. All right. Supposedly he had a good visit to Clemson, but there is a prediction, a crystal ball, or a fallen bomb, if I'm not mistaken, for Javion Mallory to become a Miami Hurricane. I want to talk a little bit about him. The West Boca running back, stud running back. Okay, averaging 5.5 yards per carry in 2022, right? As well, 499 yards rushing, limited time as well. I want to get into the huddle on Mallory because I just want you guys to see how talented this kid is. Let me make the screen a little bit bigger for you guys. Let me see if I can put myself down a little lower. Come on. Let's see if this works better. What about here? Nope, definitely not. All right. Okay, well, let's try here. Okay, let's try here and let's see how that goes. Just going to put on his highlight reel here. Okay, let's take a look at together a little bit about this young man. Let me get a little bit more square when it comes to. All right. Okay, so he has breakaway speed. He is listed at 5'11", 200 pounds. He's a pretty big back, a pretty stocky back. All right, 5'11", 200 is nothing to sneeze at. All right, and you can tell from the look at the highlight videos that he's really fast. Okay, he's really quick. Of course, in a spread offense, hits the hole rather quickly and follows his blocks. Very good. Nice little shifty move there. Very difficult to catch. Breakaway speed. He's electric. For a guy his size, it's very good. He likes Miami from what I've heard. It's Miami's player to lose in this case, right? As well, again, patience at the line of scrimmage, but not too patient. When he finds the hole, he hits it. Makes that touchdown look rather easy as well. The offensive line also helped as well. That's fantastic blocking by his lineman. That run was supposed to go inside. He bounces it outside and gets into the end zone. So that's a very good play there for him. Again, right between the tackles, right up the gut, splits and gets into the end zone. Right, as well. He gets the football again, runs the football, bounces that outside. Again, touchdown. Doesn't mind bouncing it outside. Could go between the tackles. A very good back, okay, as far as also physical as well, as you saw from that last cut of that video. A very physical running back. Not afraid of contact, okay? Not easy to bring down, even with ankle tackles as well. Not afraid to challenge the defensive back. Won't run out of bounds. He'll take the hit to get an extra yard. In that case, it got him into the end zone. So this is a young man that is absolutely shifty. Okay, this is a young man that has good ball skills as well. This is a young man that could run between the tackles, not afraid to go between tackles. But if he sees an opening, he will bounce it outside, which helps out your offensive line immensely as well, and is very good for your offensive coordinator and also your offensive line coach as well. He enjoys a running back that helps out the line as well in the process. I'm really enjoying watching this video with you guys as well because look at this play right here. Just picks up guys, puts them in the end zone as well. Again, this kind of offense that you see right here, a power spread, fits in very well. Off tackle there. Again, shows good balance, stays on his feet, picks up additional yardage. First down, a lot more. Very, 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 very dangerous running back, to say the least. This is the kind of guy that Mario Cristobal likes. It's the kind of guy that Coach Merritt likes. Again, change of direction. Very good as well. Doesn't cut back way too far where he loses yards, continues to pick up yards. One thing I've noticed from this young man is a high football IQ. That right there again, one man a beat. Difficulty bring him down. Gets the first down for his team. He puts his offense in a very good position with his skill. He's got a very quick first step as well. Ability to break tackles as well. Running away from guys as well. This is the kind of guy Miami needs, and this is the kind of depth you could use at your running back position. A position that takes a lot of pounding. Look at him lined up at wide receiver. Takes the ball from the quarterback. Makes people miss. And pretty much gets about 9 yards on that play. A near first down. Okay. Once again, gets another handoff. I'd like to see a little bit more in this video of him in the passing game. We just saw him catch the football as well. But you can see that he is a very physical back and not very easy to bring down. So that's all I got to say about that young man. I don't want to continue just going berserk about, this young man as well as what I've seen. But I like this. I like this pickup if we do get him. I like the fact he's being crystal ball to go to the Miami Hurricanes. I do think that running back is a very important position for this football team. Helps out your quarterback, helps out your wide receivers as well. It draws. Let me fix myself over here. Let me see there. No. There we go. Much better. uh, fixes yourself as well, fixes your offense. So I'm very excited that hopefully we can land this young man and he could become a Miami Hurricane. I'm sure everybody out there who's watching this podcast feels the same exact way as I do, because I do enjoy the fact I do like the running game a lot, and I think that's something that we could really truly enjoy. I'm gonna take a little sip of water as well. Forgive me, guys. Okay, there we go. Now I'm gonna talk about a guy that was mentioned on my show Tuesday night with Chalupa Batman. Big shout out again to Tyreek Gracia, as he also brought him up. Okay, and this is, I'm going to go to him right now, Samarian Wingo. Okay, now Samarian Wingo is 6'2", 180 pounds. He's a 4-star wide receiver out of St. Augustine. Okay, as well. He is a monster. This past season had over 1,000 yards receiving with 12 touchdowns. Actually, I think the huddle said 14, so it might have been updated. So he's the kind of guy that Miami does like. You have a tall young man at 6'2", pretty tall. He has the ability to go up and get the football, as you see right here. That defensive back was draped all over him, earns a pass interference, and is still able to make the play. So that says a lot about the aggressiveness in terms of catching the football from your wide receiver. That helps the quarterback out immensely. All right, he has very good at tracking the football as well, especially in one-on-one coverage. He's absolutely dynamite. I don't know why he's not rated as higher, in terms of the rankings. Red zone threat there. He's a boundary receiver, but I'm sure you could put him in the slot as well, and it could be just as effective. But he's very well liked at the boundary. Again, takes the ball from the quarterback. Complete separation, so he has some speed. Again, ball tracking skills, takes that ball and nicely cuddles it in. Touchdown for St. Augustine. Again, quarterback's not even hesitating, goes straight to him at the and the red zone, goes right to the pylon. Touchdown, St. Augustine. Now, this is complete press. All right. The cornerback is completely tight. It's still very good coverage. He's able to maneuver his way to catch the football. The ball was slightly underthrown, which enabled him to pretty much stop at a dime and catch the football while his defensive back was still slightly turned around. Quarterback helps him out a little bit, and he's able to find a hole in the zone there, catches the football. Defensive back misses a tackle, scores a touchdown. I like what I'm seeing with this young man. Right? I like what I'm seeing. Okay. Now over here, again, receives the football, catches it again, another first down. Okay, good connection between him and his quarterback. Now this is him in a slot, which I was talking about earlier. All right, goes, fakes as if he's going to block, fools the defender, touchdown, back end of the end zone. Touchdown, St. Augustine. Quarterback buys some time, post route, he's got some separation, safety. Actually, the safety in that situation misplaced his timing on the football, which allowed him to be able to catch the football and score a touchdown. He took advantage of the safety's mistake. Again, going deep, straight one-on-one coverage in the end zone. Samarian Wingo, guys, this is a guy that I know for a fact Kevin Beard does like this young man. He seems very coachable, has very good hips as far as able to twitch his way into being open, good footwork as well, which drives defensive backs crazy because he's able to maneuver them. So route running is pretty effective in terms of this case. Seems like a good game day wide receiver. Look at him just track that ball down, draped all over him again. Very physical, able to get the first down and a pass interference on that play. Amazing job there by Samarian Wingo. Here's a screen pass, able to find the hole in the defense, scores a touchdown, breaking a tackle in the process. This is a guy that Miami likes. This is a guy that's gonna be that if he does commit to Miami, okay, good things could happen. Right there, a little soft touch by his quarterback, makes the guy miss. Once again, ends up in the end zone. All right, so I'm excited. I really am. I'm truly excited about what I'm seeing from these Miami Hurricanes. All right, as well. So I'm pretty excited to see what the future holds with Mallory and Wingo and all the individuals. Anthony Mendez, I saw your comment. There could be 4 or 5 starters from the O-line leaving after the season. What are we doing possible to replace them? Okay, well, we are in a battle with Clemson, it seems like, as far as offensive linemen go. We are heavily looking at Cannon Pickett. All right, Cannon Pickett was a brother of Booker Pickett Jr. He loves Miami. Originally, I don't know why Steve Wilfong predicted him to go to Clemson. He had a good visit, but he never committed, and it looks like he's also Miami's player to lose. There's 2 guys out of IMG that Corey mentioned. Their names escape me because they're not names you hear all the time. Miami's been eyeballing them as well throughout the process as well. So those are just things that I'm looking at. Jackson Cantwell is another guy. Although Missouri is calling, the SEC lure is there. Miami has been impressive, and they've found ways to get him on campus, and he seems to like coming to campus over in Miami. So don't be surprised if Miami's able to get one from Big Ten and from Big Ten and SEC territory as well. Okay, because Oregon is after Jackson as well. That's what I'm saying. Big Ten. All right, so that's pretty much where I'm looking at here as far as offensive line goes. Listen, the one thing this football team is not going to let go is offensive line. Okay, that's the one thing that I will honestly tell you Miami is not going to let slip is the offensive line. Alex Mirabal is if not the best, he's one of the best in the country as far as recruiting, as far as coaching. He also makes sure that his linemen are cross-trained, that if they do go to the next level, they're able to be plugged in any position on the offensive line. Mario Cristobal takes the offensive line personally. He's very hands-on with his linemen, even in practice from what I've heard. And sometimes when you're able to see, online and so on, so that's another thing about it as well. We do have Max Buchanan, okay, whom I do like. Okay, we have SJ Alaifaituli, all right, as well, whom I also like as well. We'll see what the Okunola situation is as well. I do predict that if CC Mauinoa, if Franz Mauinoa has another solid year, he will go pro. So I'm wondering if Pancake will take that place as well. So we'll see. All right, we'll see. But I'm not worried about the offensive line. I know they're trying to beef up some linemen as well. In terms of, I know that they are still recruiting linemen. So we'll see what happens this 2026 cycle. Okay, once December comes along. But I do think we'll be fine at offensive line. Like I said, the one thing that Mario really likes to shore up is offensive line, and I do think that Miami will be fine at the offensive line position, both in terms of recruiting, also from depth as well. Even the portal as well. If they have to get a tackle or two from the portal next season, we'll see. But I have no issues with the line. You're right. We're losing about 4 or 5 starters, but I do think with the formula we could plug and play. Okay, as far as it goes. Gio Miliana, I think, said the second. I think it was Gio. I don't remember. Might have said that the second line is not as good as the first line of defense of the offensive line of the first front. But I do think that they will develop to be good and very solid. And I do think that recruiting is going to help. I have a lot of confidence in Max Buchanan and SJ Alaifaituli. I do think next year he will be the starting center for this football team. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have no more questions, I will be signing off in about a couple minutes. I just want to update you on what's upcoming for next week. Okay, next week I have I have a couple big shows coming on. Okay, as Tuesday night I will be going live once again with Chalupa Batman, aka Corey Carmona of the You Heard podcast. All right, we'll be talking about the outlook of the 2025 season. We weren't able to do that on Tuesday night because he and I just talk a lot. We're very good friends. We talk a lot, and we stuck with recruiting. Okay, we stuck with recruiting in general. Okay, let's see. Do you see defense stopping the run first game against Notre Dame? I hope so. I hope so. For again, I'm cautiously optimistic. I've heard a lot of good things from practice. I've heard good things about Amon Moten. He shed about 15, 20 pounds. I've heard good things about Ruben Bain. Last year he was hurt and he was still kind of, I think, playing a little nicked up. All right, as well. I'm excited. We'll see what happens with Mesdor, but I do like the depth at the defensive end position, even with the young guys like Booker Pickett Jr. as well. I like him a lot. I do like the fact that Cole McConaughey as well. I do think that's going to be he's going to be a player as well. I do also like Herbert Scroggins as a true freshman, maybe getting some playing time sometime this season. David Blay, all right, Artavius Jones, and Justin Scott. Those are names that I want you guys to also remember that we do have at the interior. Justin Scott has been turning heads from what I've heard. I think he was referred to last year as the dancing bear by Coach Guidry, but I've heard good things about him. He was a very athletic guy. He was able to dunk a basketball at 300 pounds. So that says a lot. We'll see Joshua Horton, how he comes along as well. He's over 300 pounds. Let's see if he could get through it as well. You have to also remember Notre Dame is also restructuring itself, okay, as well, with the loss of Riley Leonard this season, and then of course you have the loss of Al Golden as well. Okay, Jacoby, let's see what you got. What about Josh Horton? How's he coming along? Not mentioned a lot. Yeah, I've heard some things about him in practice. A little bit being okay. He is big. It's he's here to step up, and they're expecting him to step up. That's pretty much all I've heard about him. I've heard more about Moten in practice and Scott than I've heard, honestly, about Horton. I've heard just that he's a big guy and he might surprise people, but nothing detail-wise. You do know also that Miami does keep a lot of things close to the chest, and most of the people that report on these players and report on practice, they're only in there for like 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, so that's just the name of the game, for Coach Cristobal and what happens when you cover the Canes. Okay, so I do expect Miami to beat Notre Dame, though. Okay, I do think the advantage of being at home and having pretty much two new teams out there a bit gives the advantage of the home team. I think with the lights, the atmosphere being at night, I do think Miami will show up, and I do expect our defense to be much better. Much better. We don't not only have depth at the defensive back position this year, but we also have experience, which is something that we lacked last season. And I do think that we've addressed that with pickups of Lucas, Poyser, of course, Charles Brantley. And then, of course, if another year of OJ Frederic, you have Damari Brown, who should be fully healthy this year. We'll see whether he plays nickel or they try him out as safety. Saquon Patterson as well. I think it's going to be a baller this year. So I do expect a lot from Miami's defense this year. Hey, listen, last year they averaged over 30 plus points against Power 4 teams. Okay, so the defense, you can only go up. Okay, you can only go up as far as ranking. I don't see Miami doing that again this year. Let's see, Ryan Mack. Haven't heard much. I have actually. I heard he's been doing very well. Okay, he's been doing very well. I think he had an injury, or was it Dylan Day? One of those two. But I heard at practice he's balling. The one that's been killing it is Dylan Day, though. That's a kid that's been absolutely killing it. But I've heard good things about Ryan Mack. Don't sleep on that young man. I'm glad you brought him up, Jacoby. Don't sleep on that young man. That young man was a 3-star covering 5 stars and giving him the business. Okay, when it was at STA. Okay, along with OJ. So I've heard some things about Ryan. I've heard some good things about Ryan and Dylan Day, right, as well. But again, of what we've heard, it's a limited how much you could cover practice. So that's to say the least. But I've heard good things about Ryan, man. Ryan, do not sleep on that young man, okay? Do not sleep on that young man. That man is going to be a beast, and he could probably line up in the boundary, but he could also play the nickel as well. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited about seeing him on the field probably sometime this year. But again, there's so many DBs now, Jacoby. So many DBs this year for the Canes that I do think Miami will be a lot better. I think you'll see a lot more interceptions. All right, a lot more interceptions. The quarterback will have to hold the football a little bit longer than it did last year against our defense. Okay, and yeah, we didn't get sacks last year as many as we could have, but I do think the front four will be better. What else are we gonna think? From what I heard, they're attacking. All right, that's all they're saying, that they're much more of an attacking defense. We'll see. Okay, it'll be sad because he was actually showing some progress towards the end of last season. He got hurt in that Duke game. Okay, but listen, I agree with you. There's gonna be some guys after spring that you're gonna be shocked that hit the portal, and there's gonna be some guys that you're gonna be shocked that didn't hit the portal. All right, last year, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was shocked when Citizen hit the portal. I thought Javonte had a good opportunity, and I don't know what was said to him after spring, but he hit the portal. Okay, so we'll see. Right, we'll see. Okay, going back to again, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. All right, around this time, 9 p.m. It'll be the return of Chalupa Batman. We'll be going over the 2025 season as well. And I promise you guys, no more 20 minutes of basketball talk to this show, okay? I know someone talked about that, okay? We won't talk basketball, okay? But we're friends. Come on. What is it not having a podcast and not talking up and chopping up with your boys, okay? Come on, let's be honest, okay? We're just having a little fun, okay? And I'm a frustrated Heat fan because I expected better out of the season. I didn't expect what happened with Jimmy Butler, but I'll be all Canes. Okay. Well, I'll try. We'll try to make it all Canes, as much Canes as possible. But we'll pretty much be covering one topic, which will be the outlook of the 2025 season. What we both see happening. I've given you a little bit of today as far. I'll just go, but this time it'll be an exchanging of ideas between he and I. All right. And on Wednesday, big guys, on Wednesday, early in the morning, I'll be recording with the host, the GOAT of Locked On Canes, Alex Dano. Yes, Alex Dano just confirmed with me that he will be coming on the show. Wednesday, I'll be recording that episode, depending on how long it takes me to edit it. We'll be airing around between 12 and 1 p.m., so tune in for that one. Alex Dano, the host of Locked On Canes, will be making another appearance on 305 Sports Now. And just to end it, I will also be doing a possible Kane segment before I go on vacation on Cannon Pickett. Okay, so if he doesn't commit sometime this week, I don't think he will. I think he's going to wait a little longer. I will be doing a possible Kane segment on Cannon Pickett. All right, and I do predict he will be a Kane. All right. Okay, so we have some comments here. Okay, from Anthony Mendez. Do I think Tony could beat out Ray? And Jacoby says yes. Okay, Anthony, I honestly say yes, but I've heard Ray Ray has made some strides in practice. Again, spring game will be key, and also after spring game, these young men will know where their roster spots are, and that will be a determinant. And I hope so too. I hope so too. But the bottom line is though, he has given it a chance. It'll be, I think, his third season if I'm not mistaken. And I know he'll want to go somewhere where he can play and contribute. Okay, he came in with some hype coming out of Edison and showed a little bit of flashes his freshman year, but he's kind of like fallen the wayside. And what Miami has brought in at his position, first of all, you're not gonna replace X. All right. You're not going to get Xavier Strip off the field. That's one. Okay. Xavier, Mr. Dependable, Mr. Reliable. He was not coming off the field. Okay. That's for starters. All right. And number two, I do think that the promise that Malachi Tony brings at such a young age and the shiftiness that he brings and the speed that he brings, I don't think Ray Ray has that comparable to Malachi. So I do think there's a huge possibility that Malachi Tony does beat out Ray Ray Joseph. And if he doesn't beat him out, I do think they'll be surprised if Ray Ray, if he does play, he'll share some slot time with JoJo as well. That way they could put someone like, CJ Daniels, whomever they get in the portal, out in the boundaries, or maybe they want to mix maybe a Chance Robinson in the boundary with a CJ Daniels, etc. Listen, I'm not the OC. I'm not Kevin Beard. I'm just speaking as a fan here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you heard, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to 305 Sports Now. Please, guys, please share and support and comment. I love it, guys. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for your participation. Jacoby, Anthony as well. Jacoby, one more time before I go. Not only he got Tony, but to worry about, but he also got Dylan Upshaw. Yes, Upshaw has also been performing, from what I heard, very well in practice. It looks smooth, and the hands have looked smooth, just as smooth as well. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Subscribe, and share. God bless you guys. I'll see you all Tuesday night, 9 p.m. with Chalupa, Batman of the You Heard podcast. Bye-bye, everybody. I'm out.